Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, and Pokemon fans of the world, Mega Crashers here to bring to you a really awesome top 10 video that features top 10 Pokemon that, in my opinion, are seriously underrated in the overused tier, and these Pokemon are not in the OU tier. Now, for a Pokemon to be on this list, like I said, it cannot be in the OU tier. However, these are Pokemon that definitely find great niches in OU and can even surpass other OU Pokemon in terms of greatness and in terms of synergy and in terms of effectiveness. Now, keep in mind that all of this is strictly opinionated, but it does have some facts to back it up, due to the fact that not only are these Pokemon just great to use in general, but with some of the roles that these Pokemon fill that are truly amazing. Now, before I get on with this video, I would like to give an honorable mention to Nidoqueen. Now, Nidoqueen is a really awesome ground and poison type Pokemon, and this type is so good. Like, you have an immunity to electric, you strongly resist poison, you resist bug, fairy, fighting, and rock. However, you're weak to the likes of ground, ice, psychic, and water. Now, how this Pokemon didn't exactly make the list is because of the fact that the thing's bulk is, it's mediocre. I mean, it's not bad by any means. The thing can definitely be an effective tank, but maybe not so much for OU. This thing is underused, and the base 76 speed is really not that favorable. I mean, if you're looking to be offensive, you pretty much are forced to run a Choice Scarf, and even with Sheer Force boosting moves with a secondary effect, that still may not be enough in terms of being an effective revenge killer. So that's why it didn't make the list, and it's an honorable mention. So moving on to number 10 is going to be Mega Beedrill. Mega Beedrill is one of the absolute best Megas there is. The thing, like, if we just go ahead and look, let's just scroll down a little bit. Base 150 attack! And coupled with the fact that this thing gets adaptability. Adaptability boosts your same type attack moves by 50%. That means that this thing and its U-turn spam is going to hurt like hell. And Poison Jab, oh my god, you ain't gonna live to see another day when you take a Poison Jab from one of those. And base 145 speed makes it one of the fastest non-scarf U-turners there is. In fact, I think it's probably the fastest non-scarf U-turner there is in the OU. And the fact that this thing has access to other moves such as Knock Off and Drill Run as well. Knock Off is more or less for a utility checking purpose, where if you would like to remove the held items of your opponents, and you'll be able to straight up one-shot Gengar, and Gengar is a big problem. However, we do have Drill Run for the likes of Magnezone, Excadrill, Heatran, all those Pokemon. One of the things that definitely is not a good selling point, though, would happen to be its base 40 defense. Pretty much any form of priority is going to destroy this thing. So, this thing is just, it's a glass cannon, is the literal definition of a glass cannon. And the thing of it is you're also always forced to run Protect in order to get that really much needed speed boost. Because if we go up here, base 75 speed. You're not going to be outspeeding things anytime soon unless you Mega Evolve. So you are forced to run Protect. That way you can get a safe Mega Evolution. And it does happen to eat up a turn, and your opponents, if they are experienced, will most likely see the Protect coming and use that as an opportunity to either set up on you or get in a more comfortable place. So that's why Beedrill is underrated, and that's why Beedrill you don't often see in OU, but definitely do not let that deter you away from using Mega Beedrill, because this thing is a fucking fire truck on steroids. This thing will blow you away if you're not ready. So coming in at number 9 is going to be Amoonguss. Amoonguss is in the RU tier, but the fact that this thing can be used in OU is so amazing. The grass and poison typing is absolutely amazing, and it synergizes well with the likes of Slowbro, and what makes this thing even more effective is the ability Regenerator. Regenerator restores a third of your HP every time you switch out. Slowbro has that ability, and the thing of it is, this thing is a very awesome special wall. Base 114 HP, coupled with 70 defense and 80 special defense. Yeah, the thing is really, really bulky. You want to invest on that special defense and pair it up with Slowbro, who's physically defensive, and you got a duo that just does not want to die. It refuses to die. And the thing of it is, this thing also has a 100% accuracy sleeping move in the use of Spore. And Spore, oh my god. Spore is absolutely unbearable. It's annoying as hell, and just the fact that this thing is just... it's so annoying. And also the beauty of this thing is the fact that even though it's really slow at base 30, it's not going to give a crap about that. It's going to be tanking up hits for days, and it can go Spore, it can use something like Giga Drain, it can also use things like Clear Smog to get rid of stat boost, it can use Foul Play to turn setup for physical attackers against them. You can also use something like Hidden Power Fire if you're that worried about Ferrothorn, and Ferrothorn really can't do anything. You can't Leech Seed stall you. It's not going to be doing that much with Gyro Ball because you're not going to be that much faster than it. So, definitely, this is a really good Pokemon to use in OU. Definitely underrated too while I'm at it. So coming in at number 8 is going to be Chestnut. Chestnut, oh man, Chestnut. This thing, Chestnut, be underestimated in OU because of the fact that even though this thing has grass and fighting, which means that you're very, very weak to flying type moves, such as Gale Wings, Brave Bird from Talonflame. The thing is, this thing has really, really awesome resistances, such as Dark, Electric, Grass, Ground, Rock, and Water, which means you resist the likes of Stealth Rocks. But the thing also has Bulletproof, which protects it from Ball or Bomb type moves, which means things like Shadow Ball's not going to be doing anything, Sludge Bomb's not going to do anything, Focus Blast not going to do anything, things like Electro Ball, like, none of those moves are going to work. And the thing's base stats are amazing. Base 88 HP, 107 attack, which is very respectable, and the thing also has access to Drain Punch, thanks to Omega Ruby and Alpha Sapphire, and that means that this thing is just going to be that much more difficult to take down. The thing has Spiky Shield, which is a buffed up version of Protect, and I say buffed up because anytime that you use Spiky Shield and your opponent was to use a contact move on you, they lose 1/8 of their health, which is ridiculously crazy. And the thing also has access to Leech Seed, so you can legitimately Leech Seed and Spiky Shield wear down your opponents. The thing also has access to Spikes. It also has access to immediate recovery moves such as Synthesis. It also has access to Roar to be able to phase out any Pokemon that try to set up on you. And the thing has just really powerful base 122 defense to make use of, making it one of the bulkiest Grass-type Pokemon there is. And will definitely give your team a run for their money if they're not prepared for Chestnut. The thing has base 75 on the special defense, which isn't bad, but it's slightly more exploitable, and base 64 speed, not the best, but pretty damn good for a bulky wall such as Chestnut. So that's why this thing is on the list. Now coming in at number 7 is one of my personal favorites, Hydreigon. Good God. How the hell is this thing not an OU? The thing is powerful in any tier regardless. It can be used in underused, it can be used in overused, hell, it could even be Ubers if it wanted to. The thing of it is, this thing is Dark Dragon, making it the only competitive Pokemon to have that typing. You're immune to Psychic, you're immune to Ground-type moves thanks to Levitate, you resist the likes of Dark, Electric, Fire, Ghost, Grass, and Water. However, you're weak to the likes of Bug, Dragon, Fighting, and Ice, which means you're also weak to priority moves such as Ice Shard and Mach Punch, and you're also weak to Fairy-type moves. So any move that is even resembling a thing of glitter being Fairy, it's over. It is over. But do not, under any circumstance, let that deter you from using Hydreigon, because if you pair it up with Mega Metagross, those two absolutely obliterate the OU format. No joke. I've had plenty of battles with the combination of Hydreigon and Mega Metagross, and they've won me so many battles. And let's take a look at the stats here too. They are so damn good, and they're fairly balanced. I mean, we got 92 on the HP with 90 bulk in defense and special defense. 98 speed is, I mean, like, it's not bad, but it's just missing base 100, which is the average benchmark for speed. But that base 105 attack is actually very good, and base 125 special attack, let's go! Draco Meteor, Life Orb for days, my man. Woo! You are done. And I love running Mixed Hydreigon, because Mixed Hydreigon with superpower takes care of those damn pink blobs known as Chansey and Blissey. Yeah, see ya, bye! It also takes care of switch-ins like Tyranitar, which would be shocked to hell to see a superpower done. Because normally they would switch in with their Sandstorm and, you know, take out those Draco Meteors for days, but yeah. Hydreigon is like, are you sure about that? I got the superpower. Thank you for letting me kill you. So, that's why this thing is definitely underrated and definitely needs to be used more in OU. So coming in at number 6 is going to be Infernape. Infernape, good God. Firefighting type Karate Monkey, kick ass! It's fire and fighting. And fire and fighting is really good offensively. You strongly resist bug and you resist dark fire, grass, ice, and steel. However, you are weak to the likes of flying ground, psychic, and water, but that's okay. That's okay. This thing is not a defensive behemoth. This thing is an offensive behemoth. Fire and fighting offers great type coverage. The thing also has 2 really good abilities to make use of, such as Blaze and Iron Fist. Blaze being able to boost your fire-type moves by 50% when you're at below 1/3 of your health, and Iron Fist, which is a really awesome ability that takes care of your punching moves and boosts them up by 20%. That means things like Mach Punch, things like Thunder Punch, Fire Punch. Woo! Good God. You're gonna be destroying the competition. Another way, let's take a look at the stats. We got 76 on the HP, with 71 in both defense and special defense, which, I mean, it's not good, but, you know, you're not going to be able to fold over easily, because you do have okay bulk. You have okay-ish bulk, I will say. You also have base 104 attack and 104 special attack and base 108 speed! That means you speed tie with the likes of Terrakion and Keldeo. Good God. The thing has access to close combat, has access to Flare Blitz, access to Overheat, U-Turn, Stealth Rocks, Fake Out, Mach Punch, Thunder Punch, Earthquake. Man, this thing is really good. It can go mixed, it can be Life Orb mixed, it can be physical, it can be special, Nasty Plot, Swords Dance, Workup, all that stuff. The thing definitely is a really good lead. I've used this Pokemon as a lead, and Fake Out, Taunt, Stealth Rocks is win. It is fucking win right there. Also, sometimes if I want to substitute out for Taunt, I may use something like Overheat in close combat. Give it a mixed offense stat. Like, if you want something like a mixed lead Infernape, go with the Naive Nature to lower your special defense and increase your speed. Get that Fake out, and then get your Stealth Rocks out, and then either proceed to Clean House with Overheat or Clean House with close combat. The beauty of this thing being a mixed attacker is the fact that this thing doesn't immediately have to switch out. Sure, if it ruins one of its stats, like say Overheat ruins a special attack stat by dropping it 2 stages, you can still stay in and close combat your opponents to death. So that's why this thing is definitely on the list. So coming in at number 5 is going to be Nidoking. Now I know what you guys are thinking, but Nidoking is a lot like Nidoqueen, if not the same. Correction. Let's take a look at that base 85 speed. Now, base 85 speed, while it's not terribly fast, it's also not terribly slow either. Base 85 is actually a very respectable benchmark because you will be able to outpace slow, bulky walls and proceed to destroy them. The thing has Sheer Force also, and Sheer Force boosts the power moves with secondary effects by, I believe, 33%, at the cost of the fact that you remove those secondary effects, And the thing of it is, with Life Orb combined with Sheer Force, good god. Those moves with a secondary effect get powered up stupidly high. And what's even better is that if you use Sheer Force boosted moves, you don't have to worry about Life Orb recoil. That means that that base 85 special attack becomes like a million kajillion. Well, not that high, but you get what I'm saying. Things like Sludge Wave, Earth Power, Thunderbolt, Flamethrower, Fire Blast, Ice Beam, all those moves. Oh god, they're gonna be powerful. And the thing can effectively be a Choice Scarf user too. And unlike Nidoqueen, Scarfed Nidoking will actually give you proper outspeeds, and you'll still be maintaining your power too. And let's also make note of the fact that this thing has base 102 attack, which means if you want to go mixed or hell even go all physical, you can do that too. Sheer Force, however way you use it, it is amazing. It is such an amazing ability, and definitely one of the most game-breaking abilities there is, in my opinion. So coming in at number 4 is going to be Salamence. Not Mega Salamence, because that thing is busted as fuck and it's in Ubers, but regular Salamence, and I'll tell you why. So, the thing has access to really awesome abilities, 2 of which are awesome. That being Intimidate, which lowers your opponent's attack stat by 1 stage, and Moxie, which boosts your attack stat up by 1 stage every time you knock out an opponent. So both of these abilities have something to do with the attack stat. That's awesome. And let's take a look at this. It has base 95 HP coupled with 80 defense and 80 special defense, which is actually very good for a sweeper. You're not going to be able to fold that easily in one hit. Except if you get hit with an Ice-type move, then yeah, you're done. I mean, it's quad weak to Ice, which is pretty bad. But you're immune to ground, you strongly resist grass, and you resist likes of bug fighting, fire, and water. However, you are weak to Dragon, Fairy, and Rock-type moves, which means you're weak to Stealth Rocks too. But all that set aside, this thing has a lot of potential to sweep. It's unbelievable. I mean, that base 135 attack, base 110 special attack, base 100 speed, access to Dragon Dance. I also love mixed Salamence. The thing with base 110 special attack, use something like Moxie and take something out with Draco Meteor, get that +1 attack boost up, and then just start spamming Outrage. And for any Pokemon that thinks that, oh, I can just switch in and take an Outrage like it's no problem, well, the thing also has access to Fire Blast, Earthquake, Iron Tail, all that good stuff. I mean, the thing is definitely underrated. And even Fairy-type Pokemon are going to have a hard time switching in if this thing has Iron Tail, because Iron Tail happens to be super effective against Fairy-type Pokemon. So, this thing, definitely one of the best Dragon types there is in OU. And I've battled against Salamence before, and jeez, the fucker is scary. It is scary as hell. So, that's it for number 4. Let's go to number 3. And number 3 is going to be featuring Mega Swampert. Mega Swampert, oh my god. Mega Swampert is an absolute beast. If we just scroll down here and take a look here, the thing has ground water typing, which means you're immune to electric and your only weakness is to grass, which is very manageable. And you also have resistance to fire, poison, rock, and steel. And the thing has access to Swift Swim, and Swift Swim is an ability that doubles your speed under the effects of rain. And considering that Drizzle is not banned in OU, the thing is a powerhouse. Once you set up Drizzle and you have Damp Rock and you're free to use Swampert for 8 turns, you Mega Evolve that shit, that thing suddenly has a base 150 attack stat, base 100 HP, 110 on both defense and special defense. That means this thing is going to be bulky as hell. Base 95 special attack and base 70 speed. You may think base 70 speed may not be all that fast, but with Swift Swim, oh my, yeah, it's going to be very, very fast. And after that, the thing has access to things like Waterfall, which gets boosted by rain if you are going to be using a Drizzle Swift Swim team. The thing has access to Earthquake, which destroys anything that water-type moves can't hit. It also has access to things like Ice Punch. You can use things like Superpower Low Kick, Power Up Punch if you're looking to boost your attack stat up. Yeah, The thing is just so monstrously underrated in OU. This thing, in my opinion, definitely one of the biggest threats in OU, and definitely one of the most underrated Pokemon in OU, in my opinion. So coming in at number 2 is going to be Tentacruel. Now, Tentacruel with that coveted poison water type. Let's just take a look. Do you see the amount of resistances you have? 8 resistances versus 3 weaknesses. You have resistances to bug, berry, fighting, water, ice, poison, steel, and water. And you have weaknesses to only electric, ground, and psychic. I mean, like, what the hell? This thing is a very, very bulky Pokemon if we take a look at the stats here. It has 80 on the HP, 70 on the attack, that's not that much. 65 on the defense, which can surprisingly be good if you decide to run a fully physical defensive Pokemon like Tentacruel. Tentacruel can take hits. Base 80 special attack is actually pretty good. Base 120 on the special defense, hello! Now we're talking some major bulk. And base 100 on the speed, which means that this thing is going to be fairly fast for a bulky Pokemon. And even if you put no investment in this thing, the thing is still going to be finding some pretty good outspeeds against slower, bulkier Pokemon. And the thing has access to really good abilities too, such as Clear Body to prevent its stats from being lowered, Liquid Ooze to basically give the big shaft to any Leech Seed users, and Liquid Ooze, oh my god, Liquid Ooze is such a good ability in the fact that any time that a Pokemon tries to use a draining move against you, the HP that you get drained out actually takes away from their HP, because rather than them regaining their HP, they actually lose the HP that they have stolen. That means that things like Leech Seed's not going to work, things like Giga Drain, Drain Punch, all that stuff's not going to work. And Rain Dish is also a good ability because it's basically a Rain Dance version of Leftovers. So if you want to run sort of like a Black Sludge Rain Dance set and be really specially defensive, you can do that too, but my recommendation, go with either Clear Body or go with Liquid Ooze. I'm a Liquid Ooze guy. And what's even better about this Pokemon is that it's one of few Pokemon that actually has access to moves like Toxic Spikes and Rapid Spin at the same time. The thing also has access to things like Scald, also has access to things like Knockoff, Sludge Bomb, Sludge Wave. I mean, the thing is definitely good, and it's also one of the few Pokemon that can counter out the likes of Keldeo, and counter out the likes of Azumarill as well. And just overall, this Pokemon is amazing. Absolutely amazing. So coming in at number 1 is going to be Toxicroak. Toxicroak, oh man. Toxicroak. Man, Toxicroak just spells Rain Team counter, because this thing with access to Dry Skin is such a good ability, and Dry Skin is an ability that makes it so that you have an immunity to Water-type moves, and what's even better is that whenever you get hit by a Water-type move, you restore 25% of your health, and under the effects of rain, you restore 1/8 of your health. But be aware though, because if you get hit by a Fire-type move, it does 25% more damage, and when you're under the effects of sunlight, you have 1/8 of your health stripped from you. But let's take a look at the Fighting and Poison typing. That's actually very good. You strongly resist Bug, you are resistant to Dark, Fighting, Grass, Poison, and Rock, you're weak to Flying and Ground, and very weak to Psychic. But if you know how to build a team correctly around Toxicroak, you got nothing to worry about. And let's take a look at the stats here. So it has 83 on the HP, 106 on the attack, 65 on both defense and special defense, and 86 on the special attack, and 85 on the speed. Now, while the speed is not terribly good, it's also not terribly bad either. And the thing with base 106 speed, having access to things like Swords Dance to boost up that attack stat, yeah, this thing is very, very potent and has a lot of opportunity to set up in 6-0 teams. And that base 86 special attack is not anything to laugh at either. Has access to things like Nasty Plot. You can use things like Sludge Bomb, Vacuum Wave, Dark Pulse, Focus Blast, moves like those. And you definitely can also find opportunities to sweep on the special set too, because nobody's really going to be expecting the special set. The physical set, you can use things like Drain Punch, you can use things like Cross Chop, Poison Jab, Gunk Shot, Earthquake, Sucker Punch with Swords Dance. Yeah. And what's even better about Toxicroak is you can use a highly unusual but highly effective bulk up set. Max out that special defense to take special attacks like a boss and start bulking up. And what's even better about this is that this Pokemon is also another one of very few Pokemon that can counter the legs of Keldeo completely, actually. Well, Sacred Sword is still going to be doing some damage, but not very effective, really. Especially after a couple of bulk up use, because Secret Sword targets the physical defense of Pokemon. So, of course, Toxicroak is going to be frail at first, but once you start setting up some bulk ups, you're going to have no problem at all. And same with the Azumarill. Water-type moves are going to do absolutely nothing to Toxicroak. Really, the only thing that Toxicroak has to worry about would be something like Fairy-type moves. And even still, the thing can outspeed Azumarill all day, every day, and can OHKO it with Gunk Shot. So, yeah, Toxicroak, definitely one of the best underrated OU Pokemon there is, and also one of my favorite Pokemon too. And it's also one of my friend's favorite Pokemon too. Toxicroak the God. Talking at you, bro. Edgar. That's for you, bro. So guys, I hope you enjoyed this top 10 underrated OU Pokemon video. I also forgot to mention at the beginning that these Pokemon are in no specific order. I just wanted to pick out 10 Pokemon that I really thought of and go over them. It's not in any specific order. All 10 of these Pokemon have different uses, different niches, and different levels of awesomeness in OU. So if you enjoyed this video, then please feel free to give it a thumbs up. And also be sure to rate, comment, and subscribe to Mega Crasher in the community. Because when we are tightly knit as one, we shine brighter than the sun, baby! Woo! Now there definitely will be more top 10s or top 5 videos like these, because there are so many other Pokemon that are just so underrated in OU. So thank you guys for watching. Hope you enjoyed the video, and I shall see you guys next upload! Woo!